Hi everyone, this is Pernilla from Taking My Life Back, mother of four and entrepreneur. Today I wanted to talk with you about happiness. I think happiness is something that I got totally wrong for a really long time. Um, I always used to think, or maybe probably more subconsciously than anything else, but I always kind of used to think that if I met the right person, I would be happy. Or when I gave birth to my children, I would be happier. I, or if I lost my weight, I would be happier. And it is only in this journey that I've figured out that happiness does not come from a weight loss or meeting your spouse or um, your kids or a new house or a new car or whatever, a new job. Happiness is there because you decide to be happy. It's within you. It's not an outside thing, it's inside. And it might seem like really basic for some people, but for me, that was not obvious for a very long time. Um, it took a really, 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 really long time to figure this out. That happiness would only come from me. Not that I've been spent my life being unhappy, but I always kind of felt that something was missing, and I always felt a little, I don't know, disconnected maybe from the world around me, and it's only recently that I've figured this out, that only I can decide to be happy. It's not up to my husband to make me happy because he sent something really nice to me, or obviously that's really nice. That's not, and I'm really happy when he says something really nice to me. That's not it. But the real true happiness, it comes from inside you. I see this as a little fire maybe inside you. You know, first you have, it starts off really, really, really tiny, right? And you can feel it's there, but it's not, it's very fragile, right? So you nourish it, you put wood on your little fire, you make sure it has enough oxygen, but not too much so it doesn't go out, right? And you just kind of nourish this little fire and take care of it, and it grows little by little. It just kind of grows. And this is something that I'm still working on for me. But I have definitely gotten a long way. The fact that I finally realized that happiness was within me and not something external, that I wasn't supposed to put my happiness between the hands of somebody else. Because imagine that they don't give that to me, right? That I wasn't supposed to put my true happiness in some kind of outside thing of myself, right? But this would actually come from me. For me, happiness is not, it's not something that is, will be coming. It's something that has always been inside you, and you can decide to be happy. You can just decide to be happy in whatever state you are. Even if you want to change your job or whatever, that's fine. But something new is not going to make you more happy. The only thing that is going to make you more happy, really, is that you decide to be in whatever state of your life you are, right? Um, you need to nourish a little fire. And once you start nourishing this little fire and you have it grow, it becomes a habit, right? And so it's something that will then start to grow within you, right? And you will see it more and more. And then it makes you happy and you come back to it and you keep nourishing it, your little fire, and it becomes bigger and it becomes an actual fire within you. That's your true happiness. It's not the happiness of going to buy a pair of shoes. Your true happiness is inside you, and it doesn't need anything outside. It doesn't need anybody. It just needs you. It just needs you to believe in it, to nourish it, to take care of it. That is the only thing it needs, right? So this is, for me, has been really a game changer. Sorry about the hair. Sunday morning. um, True happiness also, when you decide to be happy and just be happy, whatever comes at you, that will also maintain your stress levels and whatever at a more stable level. Because when you just decide to be happy, then you also decide to put less importance on the little things that arrive in your life. You decide to not spiral out of control when something happens, because you have that force within you already. And you realized that everything that really, really, really matters in terms of emotions, they happen inside you. So you give less importance to outside factors, like if your kids are acting up, or your husband is like this, or your job has been awful. I have always been somebody who would be really, really reactive of everything outside, and I would really take it in so deeply, right? When I would be stressed at work, I would be so stressed, right, about stuff at work, and deciding that my true happiness is inside you is also to give less power to the things around you. My husband actually very often says that people only have the power that you give them, right? And it's kind of true. People only have the power on that you allow them to have, that you give them. And he told me this a lot when I was in my job that I was really unhappy about. It didn't really go well with my boss. I would come home like in a state at night and just be crying. And he was like, why do you let them have all this power on you? And I didn't really get it. I think maybe I was just in such a bad state at that time that I just didn't really get it. But this is something that has grown on me, and it has come also with the happiness. The happiness is not what you get for your birthday, or if your husband brings home flowers on your anniversary. It's really nice, but it's not what makes you truly happy. What makes you truly happy is you, first of all. And I think that's really important. It's important in self-acceptance, but it's also important in taking the control of your life back. It's important because this is getting back in the driver's seat. This is taking the power away from external things that you cannot control. You can't control what happens around you. You can't control how people react around you. You can't control outside events, but you can control yourself. You know You can't control how you want to react to things around you. And when you have decided that happiness is just a little fire inside you, nothing else, it has nothing to do if it rains outside, it had nothing to do if your boss is being an ass, it has nothing to do with anything else than you, well, then you also have the control of how you decide to handle your life, how you decide to control your own emotions regarding outside things. And once you decide that, and it's really not more than that. It's deciding happiness is not this person or this thing, it's me. When you decide this and you think about it really actively every single day, you really need to start, nourishing that little teeny tiny flame, right? Because in the beginning, it might be really, 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 really small, and it might be really, really, really fragile, and you will probably have times where you get out of this state of happiness within, and that's fine. It's a process, it's a learning process, and we, as I said the other day, we don't have to be perfect, it just has to be good enough, right? So in the beginning, we're learning. I have learned over a long period. It was really hard for me in the beginning, but learning this has really changed a lot of things in my life. It has changed also, I think, for example, it's my emotions around food, right? That's something really hard, and this has really helped me. Just be happy as you are. Doesn't mean, if you're happy as you are, it doesn't mean that you don't want to change anything. It doesn't mean that you don't want to, do other things. It doesn't mean that you don't have goals. It doesn't mean, oh, I'm happy, so I'm content. It's not the same thing. But it just means that you will not get thrown off by so many outside things. That means that you do not put the control of your happiness in somebody else's hands. It just means that you remain stable, happy, whatever happens around you. And therefore you can handle basically anything, right? You do not spin out of control. You do not get really happy when somebody says something to you, or and you get really emotional about it. Obviously, it will hurt you, but you can decide, the importance you give this person, right? So if you decide that you are your number one person for you, then this person can say all the things they want. You still know who you are and what you want. I often say this to my kids. When kids come and they say that, oh, but this person told me I was just a baby. They have this thing, like when they're like 5 or 6 or 4 or something, that they tell the others when they get mad, right? You're just a baby or whatever. And I say, well, okay, but if somebody would come and tell you you're blue, does that make your skin blue? It doesn't. You're still you, right? And it's kind of the same thing, but in maybe a more grown-up way, but it's kind of the same thing. If somebody comes and says something to you that is not very nice, well, you still know who you are. And if you have accepted that happiness was within you, then, people can think what they want. That's fine. It's their business, right? But you have your life. So deciding that happiness is within you, nourishing your little flame until it becomes like a roaring fire, that will really put you in the driver's seat of your own life. That will make you take control of your own life. That will make you take your own life back. So, in such a great way. Because that you will really realize that the only person controlling your life, it's you. It's no one else, right? No one else. It's just you. And I think that is, for me was like an important, really, really important life lesson. It was probably one of the most important ones. Happiness is within myself. And doing the small things for you, and putting yourself first, that nourishes that little fire. But at the end of the day, it's just a decision to make. I decide from today that happiness is me. It's inside me. I decide that I'm happy. Whatever happens, I will be happy. You don't do it for anybody else, you do it for you. It's just for you. And you'll see, it'll grow on you. That little flame will grow, right? It will. It'll become bigger and bigger. Maybe sometimes it'll take a little more time, but it will become bigger, right? So, from today, I suggest that you decide that happiness is already inside you, right? And that you start nourishing that little fire. You think about it. When you spin out of control, you're like, nope, nope, I'm still happy. You take a breather, you step back, and you're like, yes, I'm still happy. And that's fine, right? So, I hope you liked this video. If you did, don't forget the thumbs up. And if you like my videos, don't forget to subscribe. I wish you a very, very happy day. And I will see you next time.